Hey, Wayne here, and today I'm riding the Carrier Cargo e-bike from TST. Let's check it out. Oh, I knew it was going to happen eventually. Hey, a quick thanks to TST for sending out their Carrier Cargo e-bike for review. And as with all my reviews, TST has agreed to have no input other than to answer any questions I may have while creating this review. First, I'll go over some specs, and then my personal thoughts will be near the end of the review, and at the very end, I'm going to throw in an assembly portion of the video for those of you that are interested in seeing how to put this bike together. The TST Carrier Cargo e-bike comes in two colors, black and white. The tires are 20-inch by 4-inch wide tires. Okay, so I'm going about 16 miles an hour. I'm going to test the brakes. They're 180 millimeter hydraulic disc brakes. So let's check that out. 16 miles an hour. Pretty good. The battery is a 48 volt, 15 amp hour lithium battery. Charge time takes between 7 to 8 hours. TST claims that you can get up to 60 miles of range on this bike. I would think that would be if you are doing a light run, not too much throttling, and if you are throttling, that you're keeping it down to like mode 1, 2, or 3. I like riding in 4 and 5, so I always cut that in half and figure I'll get about 30 miles safely on this bike. Another thing that's going to cause your mileage to vary is going to be your terrain. If you're going up and down hills, rough terrain, pavement, and payload. So your weight's going to also change how much mileage you're going to get out of this bike. For gearing, it has a 7-speed Shimano gearing system. Pedal assist, you've got 5 different assist levels controlled by a thumb throttle on the left side. I'm kind of used to them being on the right, but it's just fine here. You'll get used to it. As for the motor and torque, it has a 1300 watt rear hub motor with 90 Newton meters of torque. TST claims that this bike should get a top speed of 28 miles per hour. For me, out of the box, I was only getting 20. So I contacted them. They told me how to unlock it. I'm going to post that right here. I'm also going to post it on my SpiderWayne.com site. But once I unlocked this bike, now I'm getting 26 miles per hour. And that's closer to 28. It's fine for me, especially since the legal speed here in California is really 20 miles per hour. So I think getting up to 26 is just fine. So one of the cool parts of this bike is that it has a cargo area. And you can use that for things like maybe going to the beach, to a barbecue at a park, maybe to work, campus, a school campus, something like that. But you can also carry like small kids in the back as well. So it has the cargo area, seating, and footrests, or you can also use them as running boards and strap things down to them. So this bike does have a headlight. It's small. I would have preferred a bit larger of a light, maybe a little brighter. I'm going to put something up so you can see what it looks like at night. And there is no brake light, just a reflector. According to TST, the bike weighs 90.39 pounds and can hold a weight capacity of 450 pounds. Rider heights are going to vary between 4'11" to 6'4". So pretty much anybody should be able to ride this bike. So let's go over some likes. Obviously, the cargo area I like a lot because you can put a lot of things in there and you can tie things down to the footrest or the running board down at the bottom. Use it for work, use it for school. There's a lot of uses for this. If you can think of a few, drop them down in the description, or in the comment area down below. I also like that it's a step through. Being that it has this big cargo piece on the back, it's a lot easier to just step through to get on and take off. So I think my only real gripe with this bike is maybe the front light. that it's a little bit small. I would have preferred a bigger one. Power-wise, it's good enough, it's quick enough. It's gonna get you up any average size hills. So I think this bike overall with the cargo rack is gonna be good for a lot of different people. If this is something you like, I've got some links down below. Affiliate links, helps out the site. Thank you very much if you use them. They also include discounts sometimes, so make sure you check that out. I think I have a discount code down there right now with it. And also, some of these bikes will be on sale right now. So sorry for slowing down there and thinking about it. I couldn't remember if this bike was one of them, but yeah, this bike is one of them. Right now, I think they're having a sale. It was at $18.99, and I think right now this bike is going for $9.99. And my coupon code, SpiderWayne, used at checkout, and using my affiliate link, I think might knock another $100 off. I'm not completely sure about that, but because things change and I will be removing and adding them back on. So, but I think the codes are there right now. If this seems like a bike you might want to get, check out my affiliate links and codes down below. Go grab yourself one, get out there and ride, and I'll see you on the next one. Okay, now let's put the TST Carrier Cargo e-bike together. Okay, the first thing we're going to connect is the front fork. And it's real important that you take this apart right here and you make sure to keep everything in the same order. So this is the top cap here. You're going to take that off. And then you're going to remove these parts down here. So there's two pieces right here that fit together. Well, one sits on top of the other. Make sure you keep that in order. And then you've got these two. It looks like one, but it's two parts. So one's sort of a thin kind of washer and the other is a bit thicker with a space in the middle right here. And the last part is going to be this bottom part, this washer, because it's going to fit right here. So, all right, once you have all that done, you're going to want to lift this part up. Probably be better if you have a friend or somebody to help you. Put the fork back in, get it nice and centered, and then put everything back on. So the first pieces to go back on are going to be the two that were kind of together here, and the one washer has kind of a space in it. You're going to fit that down in there. You're going to you got to make sure that you line everything up good so that it fits inside. All right. Then you're going to put the one washer back on that goes on the very bottom here. I'm not sure if it's actually called a washer, but that's what I'm calling it. Then you have that part and that part, which is a spacer. So then after that is the handlebar. So now the handlebar is going to be a little bit tricky here because you want to make sure that it's all lined up properly. And let's see, so it appears to me that it's going to go on like this. And I'm picking this side because these two here that you're going to tighten up are usually on the inside. We're going to loosen these and bring the handlebars back up. So the handlebar is on. I'm going to put this cap back on. Then I'm going to go get a wrench. I'm going to tighten it all down. And we'll move on to the next step of bringing the handlebars up. Okay, so I'm going to go back at the end and line all this up and tighten it down. But for now, I'm already loosened some of these up, so I should be able to turn it pretty easily. Yeah, so I'm just gonna put it about right there for now, and then like I said at the end, I'll make my final adjustments and tighten everything down and make sure that everything is lined up properly. Okay, so now it's time to install the kickstand, and it has these two bolts that come already screwed into it, so you're going to take those out. Let's see, I got the flat washer on it first and then the lock washer. We're going to hold this up underneath these two holes in the frame here, and the arms here are facing the rear tire. So I'm going to put that in there, feel around, try to find the right spot for it to grab, which I think I just got it. And now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So once you get those going, take your, it's the largest wrench in the kit that they give you, and tighten it down all the way. Make sure you get it nice and tight. You don't want that falling off. You're going to need to use that a lot. So yeah, screw that down and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, to put on your front tire, you're going to want to remove this bar here. It's already loose. I'm just going to lift this up, take it off, and you're going to want to remove this little spacer here for the brake pads, because your brake disc that's mounted on the wheel is going to slide right in there. So let's go ahead and get that going. Okay, to install the front tire onto the bike, you're going to want to take this bar here that they've supplied and take off one nut, a flat washer, this safety hook here, which looks like this. It has a hook on the end of it to connect to the front fork, and then remove the spacer, slide the whole thing through, and then put the spacer back on this side. Now you can put all the other parts on, like next would be the safety hook, then the flat washer, and then the nut. But I'm going to leave all that off, and I'm going to take it off of this side too, and only leave the spacer on here. Makes it a little bit easier when I'm trying to slide the front wheel and tire onto the bike and trying to get this brake disc squeezed right in between the brake that's mounted on the front fork already. So this might be a little bit easier if you had help, somebody else holding the bike up. I'm going to do it by myself. I'm just going to lift it up and slide it on. So let's do that. So once you have the front tire wheel dropped in correctly, it should look about like that. So as you can see right there, the brake disc is in between the brake pads, and the spacer and the fork is sitting just right. So now I'm going to put the rest of it back on. So first we're going to put on the washer, or the safety washer. Put that on first. Make sure the hook on it is facing up and goes into the hole on the front fork. Then we're going to put the flat washer on, and then the nut. Then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side and tighten it up real good. The supplied 15-inch wrench will work just fine for tightening this down. Okay, so for the pedals, they're usually marked right and left, as well as these parts here are marked right and left, but they didn't do that on this bike, so you're just going to want to look here at the tips here. There's a left and a right. So use the right one on this side of the bike, and you're just going to put it on and turn it clockwise. The other side, the left, you're going to want to make sure to do counterclockwise. So it doesn't say it here on the pedals, but the right is clockwise, the left is counterclockwise, and you can use your 15mm supplied wrench. So just twist it on, and at the end here, you can give it a little extra like that. Now, sometimes you can turn pedals and tighten them, but the brake, the kickstand gets in the way of turning the pedals. So you're not going to be able to do that. So it'll hit. So do the same thing on the other side, and the pedals are all done. Okay, so next we're going to install. Okay, so now we're going to install the front fender and the front light. So we're going to bring these two together, put the light behind the bar here, and then once you have that all in place, you're going to take that screw out that was in already. It was already inside. I already removed it. Take that out, slide it through the fender, slide it through the light, put it into the front fork here, get it finger started, and then you can tighten it down a little bit more than that. But next what we got to do is install the lower half of the fender into the front fork. The second part to installing the front fender is removing this screw here. Now I've already kind of sped things up a little bit by loosening it. I'm going to go ahead and remove it now. I'm going to take this ring from this fender here. I'm going to line it all up. And once I get it lined up, I'm going to start to screw that screw right into place there. And I'm going to repeat it on the other side, tighten it all down, make sure everything's nice and adjusted and the headlight, the front light is in line, and tighten it all down and the front fender will be completely done. Drop your post down for the seat, get it right where you want it, tighten it up a little if you need to with this, and close the clamp. Seat's done. To install the rear rack and running boards, you're going to want to remove this screw and nut from the rear rack. It's going to be used a little bit later when we're installing it to the rear fender to hold it in place. But you're also going to want to remove these 4 screws and nuts from the side, each side of the bike. The top will be for the rear rack, and the bottom ones are going to be for the running boards. So I did wind up having a small problem with the rack. This piece you can see is straight up where I have to put a screw through. This one is bent out quite a bit. So I'm going to have to hammer this down and make it a little straighter, closer to this side. Otherwise the screw won't fit. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to finish putting the rack on. Okay, this was the toughest thing that I've ever installed on an e-bike. This part here made it especially hard because the screw is not very long, and you don't want it to because you don't want to puncture the tire. But before you put any of these nuts and screws back in, leave them out, work on the fender and this piece right here, because otherwise it's almost impossible to get your hand in here with the nut. So, and the washer that goes under here. So another tip would be, when you're trying to put these screws, take them off or put them on, either way, take these Velcro straps. There's one here on each corner. Remove them from each side and each corner. That way you can push it in and you can get a wrench down in here to hold that nut down while you're unscrewing or screwing it back in. Then when you're done, put all the straps back in and the rear rack is done. Okay, depending how you're going to use this back end here, this is going to be a running board or it's going to be a footrest. So to install it, you remove these 2 screws. I've already removed the nuts from the other side. You remove those, line up these holes here, put the screws back through, tighten it down, repeat on the other side, and your running board / footrest are done. Okay, if you're planning to install the child seat, you're going to need to put this cage together first. There's a bag that came with the kit, and it had a bunch of screws and nuts and things in there. So for the cage, this is a separate piece. Then you got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these poles that you're going to put together, and then you're going to attach the other part of the cage to the other side. So to start here on this part, you'll want to put these 2 center posts in first, and then the outer ones last. So what I did was I used these screws. These are sort of the smallest one. I used these to put in the holes here. No washers, just straight in and into the pole, which is threaded. The next one, I used the longer screw, which is like a medium-sized screw, a nut, and a washer. And I went down with the screw, then the washer, and the nut right here. Do the same thing over here. And then you'll want to turn that around, and it doesn't matter if it's upside down or upward. Either way, it will work. I'm just doing it this way because I think it's a little bit easier. Turn it around so you can see. And it's really just a duplicate of everything that I just did. So What you want to do first is the outer part. So you'll slide that on, and there's holes already drilled out. And you'll put one of the longer screws in on one side, and then again on the other side. Put the washer, the nut, tighten that down. Do the same thing on the other side. And you'll want to tighten that down. And then these two longer poles, it's lined up with the pole with the hole here. There's one here and one over here. Just line those up. Then you're going to take these shorter screws and you're just going to put them in. I suggest using your wrench, your Allen key wrench there. Put it in, put it all the way through, line this all up, and then start to screw that in. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side, and your cage will be done. And we'll move on to the seat with the cage next. Okay, once you have your cage all set up, you're going to want to remove this piece of wood from the rear rack, take off these 4 screws, and pull the piece of wood off. So when you take the plank off, there are holes already pre-drilled here, and you can just use the same screws to put it back in to hold the rack down. But you're going to have to make a decision. If you want to leave the plank in, then take those screws back out, or before you put them in, put the plank back down, screw everything back down. The other option is, and I think I'm going to leave it this way for a while, is to put this actual seat in. And what happens is there is a couple of pieces right here that will slide under the rack right here to hold on to the front. And then in the rear, you're going to use these Velcro straps to keep it all in place. So you just take it, slide it in, push it over, and then fasten the Velcro straps to the frame of the rack, and you're all done. Okay, now that you have your TST Cargo Carrier e-bike put together, don't forget to go back over things like all the screws for the handlebars and anywhere else, the rack, all that. Make sure everything's nice and tight. Make sure your battery is fully charged and that your tires are properly inflated. And check out my affiliate links down below if you want to get this bike. Grab yourself one, get out there and ride, and I'll see you on the next one.